The flood crisis in southern Queensland is still playing out tonight with a once-in-a-century deluge swamping the region. The focus is again on the town of St George, already experiencing its biggest flood on record. The ABC's Paul Lockyer is in St George.
There were those in St George who doubted the predictions of a record-breaking flood. Not anymore. Even though it didn't get as high as forecast, this one has consigned the Great Flood of 1890 into history. By early morning, the full force of the flood became alarmingly clear to the people of St George. As houses began to go under, residents of all ages joined forces to try to stop the floodwaters flowing into the middle of town through the stormwater drains. The first battle to protect St George had begun. Glenn, are there enough sandbags in St George to stop this water?
Well, there's plenty of dirt. Don't know about sandbags, but we'll find something, whether it's a cotton tarp or something, we'll find something to put down and cover it up.
But elsewhere there was nothing that could be done to hold back the torrent. The house that Rory Gould had packed up and left yesterday was one of the first to be claimed by the flood. And Lucky, the cockatoo, was moved out just in time. The birdcage and the house now deep in water. Donna Warboys could only watch as her old family home went under.
You don't realise until you actually see the water come over the floorboards how eerie it is, and when you walk through it, it's just a very, very upsetting feeling, and you just wonder where it's going to stop.
By mid-afternoon, many other houses in St George had been flooded. But the news that the flood peak would fall short of the enormous height that had been originally predicted sent a wave of relief through the community. It's still a flood to break all records, and the water will take some time to recede.
Well, they're thinking about 2 to 3 days, and as I said, we look at the clouds, and one can't predict that either.
The focus of the emergency will now shift downstream to communities dotted across the floodplain, stretching down to the New South Wales border. There have been many dramatic episodes since this flood crisis began. The story of the woman who was winched to safety from the roof of her flooded farmhouse southwest of here by a rescue helicopter. The story of the man whose car was swamped by floodwaters and spent 2 days in a tree before he found safety. There'll be many more stories like that before the big flood of 2010 runs its course.